everybody. We are back, and welcome to the No Cap Zone. I mean, my friend Joe over here's got the cap on, obviously, but still no capping around here. Yeah.
Guess I need to throw it somewhere. No.
So today's show, we are talking about philanthropist, actor, musician, show creator, and host extraordinaire Nick Cannon. Now, you may be wondering why we're talking about Nick Cannon, and I think, Joe, why don't we go ahead and talk and discuss with people why we were talking about Nick Cannon today?
Man, actually, we've been talking about Nick Cannon for a long time, just not on camera, which I was like, we need to change that. Let's go ahead and actually put this on film because, bro, it's been a lot. I personally am the opposite of a Nick Cannon hater. Like, there's a lot of Nick Cannon haters out there. And I just feel like somebody got to say it. Somebody got to step up here. I don't know if y'all saw the Breakfast Club interview. That's what sparked the timing why we're doing it now. Because we just, went through, saw my man's on the Breakfast Club saying his piece. We just came off of the episode about the baby. They made some commentary about that. We were sharing back and forth, keep the convo going. And you know what? Let's go ahead and give this man his due. So that's why I wanted to be here. I want to say, bruh, Nick Cannon doing your thing. It's a lot of hate. I don't agree with it, and I want to break some of that down for the people while we're here. And
it's funny because, Nick Cannon's been around. So he first got on All That when he was like 18 years old or so, and so he's been on TV since 1998, a solid 23 years and counting.
Okay,
and people have clowned him over the years for being corny, for being acting white, and all this stuff. I don't know. I kind of was like a goofy dude growing up. I'm still kind of goofy now, and so. In Nick Cannon, I could see parallels to how I was and how I act, and me doing music stuff. I've kind of done various songs here and there, whatnot, and it's been nice to see somebody else out there that's been relatable in that sense, not having to be like the hardcore thug, the gangster guy, the guy that's not afraid to kind of be a little out there and goofy and just be who he is. But also, people don't give him credit. He's really about his business. He's been. He's freaking married Mariah Carey. He's gone toe to toe with some of the baddest rappers in the industry. So we're gonna talk about all this today. We need to send his flowers because
fearless.
He deserves them. So I don't know where you want to start, Joe, with this stuff. You
kind of kicked it off pretty well. I want to say this because the biggest critique I hear is rap. The fact that he tries to be a rapper and he's not a good rapper. He's corny. He's just like you said. I compare it to Will Smith. Will Smith came out rapping long before, he's like one of the pioneers of the game to me. I know there was a generation before him, but for me at least, I was in that era. That was what was new and hot, and he paved the way for a lot of other people. And there was a song he had where he was kind of describing, himself versus other artists. He was like, what makes a rapper great? Is it the sales, 20 mil? Is it the cars, Bentleys? Is it the women? Jada, bruh. And he's like, is it the money? Please. What? How do you judge a rapper? Who can you compare by those stats? Because that's what rappers brag about. Oh, look at these women I'm with. I married Jada. Thank you. Yeah. So you talk about Nick Cannon. Look at the women I'm with.
Mariah.
What are we talking about? You want to go here?
Mariah and models. Mariah and models, yes.
He ain't missed yet that I've seen. I don't know. I ain't seen them all, but bruh, just him and Wayne are competing for who got the baddest baby mamas. I don't understand Wayne either. Ladies, maybe you can explain it to me. But anyway, back to the subject. I'm just bro, he's been doing his thing. His music, I feel okay, I brought up earlier.
Yeah.
I said his first hit was Gigolo. And I do this because people hit. He had sales. People bought it. At the time,
we were in college when that came out, and they were playing at every party.
It was getting bumped.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Gigolo was a hit for a couple minutes. And then somehow it got corny and people look back, oh, that was whack. But then he had R. Kelly and who you said, Trackmasters produced it.
Yeah. Well, I think R. Kelly produced that one, but R. Kelly was on that song. And
then I brought up Jay-Z had Fiesta Remix. Fiesta Remix was hot, where he did a track with R. Kelly. Similar kind of instruments in the beat. What's the difference? One's hot, one's not. Only difference is Nick.
Yeah.
And oh, Nick's corny, Nick's this, Nick's that. Is he, or is he just not thug?
Right.
Is he not gangsta enough. You know what I mean? Like that's what I feel like the problem is. It's like if you try to be a rapper and you don't have that hardcore image, then you don't get taken seriously. And I feel like that was what his problem was.
And you know what I find interesting about that? Because I mean, like I earlier this week, like I mentioned, like I had been listening to a lot of stuff about Hammer and whatnot, and both Hammer and him grew up in environments where actual hard living stuff was going on. Like Nick Cannon was affiliated with like the Crips in the San Diego neighborhood, you know, just like Hammer was actually like that dude. But it's like they grew up around those environments where it's like violence is actually going down. And
Philly?
Yeah, he was in Philly. Yeah. And all them dudes like, look, we lived it. We don't have to relive it on wax. So because they would do something different, it's like, oh, you're corny. It's like maybe he's doing that because he doesn't want to have to relive all the trauma that he actually grew up around and in, and doesn't want to promote that. But we get on him because he's corny. So how are dudes, especially black men in particular, how are we supposed to elevate ourselves to be better and not stay in that stereotype if when we try that, we getting called corny and bummy and, oh, your raps are stupid and yada, yada, yada. It's like, that Nick Cannon going to be in that lane.
I feel like it's evolving, but I feel like Nick Cannon started out before it evolved. Because the next one I feel like would be Drake. Drake fits that same description, but it worked for him. He was able to do it. And I remember I had that same judgmental attitude when he came out because I was like, I heard a song, I was like, oh, this track's banging. Who's this rapping on here? Drake. So, what's a Drake? Who's this cat? All right. Then I heard a second song. Yo, this is hard. Who's this dude right here? Looked him up. This isn't a hard resume right here. I don't understand. I was like,
and he's from where in Canada?
You from Canada? What? The mean streets of Canada? Like where you at from Canada? Now I haven't been. I don't know. There may be some hard hoods in Canada. I'm just not familiar in the rap game with this background. Yeah. Then there was he was on Nickelodeon show. You an actor on Nickelodeon? What was the end? It was the teenage Nickelodeon. Right. This ain't a hard
because Nick Cannon was also Nickelodeon.
Well, you're not giving me this type of resume that gives me this hardcore rapper image. Yeah. Then I kept seeing him falling on stage and all this. I'm like, oh, he's done. He ain't going nowhere. Hip hop's not gonna accept him. And then he dropped another hit. And he dropped another hit. Now he's Captain Hook. You know what I mean? Like you can't make a song without Drake on there. Like, oh, come on, what happened? He just stayed in the game, kept dropping. He kept making all the music that you party to. Yeah. That's where I think Nick didn't do that. Right. He had a couple songs and he started doing some other stuff, and he didn't stay consistent with rap long enough to catch on.
Right.
I think Drake doing it kind of changed the game up a little bit. And now there's other rappers we can say kind of fit the mold that are accepted. But
well, ultimately, like, you know, because I mean, Drake was on Degrassi, but he was like playing a basketball star that got shot and then was in a wheelchair. But it was more of like a serious type, I guess, dramedy or whatever. But like Nick Cannon first got started on All That, which is like pure skit comedy. So I could see how people could have like, he was on that show. He did a couple things on Keenan and Kel. He did on some other shows. They were all just comedy. So to go from that to like, I'm gonna be a serious rapper. It's just the same thing that Jamie Foxx went through when it's like he went from being a comedy to like, I'm gonna go, who's that singing on Kanye's record? That's who? That's Jamie Foxx singing? Like,
yeah,
like that's a hard transition to do, especially in a world of rap where you've been seen this one way, but now you're trying to be like pimp, thug, whatever this is that. Mm-hmm. But everybody in rap is posturing on some level. So people can get on
there's other types of rap. You got like Common Sense, you got like you know, Most Def, like they're not gangster conscious rappers. Like there's another lane in being.
Yeah.
I just feel like Gigolo was more like in that like pimpish kind of playing.
Yeah.
I'm a player. And I feel like that's kind of what didn't sell.
Right.
Not didn't sell, but like we didn't buy it. But
yeah, at
the same time, catching things up to the modern day, I mean, wrong? Like
this. I mean, maybe it was like the hindsight, or he was just futuristic speaking, or maybe he was like living the lifestyle that he wasn't promoting.
He wasn't trying to hear it from him. Like,
yeah, it was like maybe up to that point, it's like that's how his actual lifestyle was. But you see, he had never talked about it on a record before, so it's like, because you see him now, he's got like four baby mamas, the models and singers and stuff like that. It's like, oh, so
that's what
like he was pimping, but
he lived up to the title. But so I don't know, but I'm like, because you got Jay-Z with Big Pimpin', you know what I'm saying? I'm like, we were fine with that, no problem, all day. Yes, let's go. You know,
married.
Tupac, I Get Around, like it was cool unless Nick Cannon did it, and that's been my thing. Like, why is everything cool unless Nick Cannon do it? Like,
right.
Come on, guys. Like, okay, but like you said, a lot of people say, oh, he act white, or he's not hood enough.
Yeah,
like you said, he came from an area that was pretty hood, so. Okay, like they got on Drake for that same thing. Like, yo, you ain't hood. He's like, okay, I'm a rapper. Here's another hit. Like, that's kind of how I feel. I feel like Nick Cannon went and pushed more into the TV career. He was just chasing the bag. And if you listen to some of his conversations, he was saying a lot of that came from Mariah. Like he was doing good. You know, he was making his money. He was doing all right, but he got with her and he saw a different level of hustle. And when he saw that from her, he was like, oh, it's not enough to have this one house. I got to have like 7 houses, 7 mansions. You can do that? All right, how do we get to where we can keep 7 mansions going? What kind of bag do I need for that? And he stepped this up so much. And I'm just like, dude, you got to respect that. And we was talking about the kids, everybody on his head about, oh, you having all these kids, all these different people. He's like, look, I don't see the problem. Like, that's the part I don't know if you saw it earlier in the interview, but he broke that whole thing down. He was like, ain't nobody mad. My kids are taken care of. Do you see them looking like they upset about something? Do you see them not being provided for? What can you say to that? Like,
It's like
he's like, I'm not asking
they
them.
had a lot of money. They had that option to do that.
Practices. He's like, I'm there. I'm a very active player. So what's up?
That's true. It's like people really are more so mad at like the idea like, oh, you have all these kids, but it's like it's really you can't take care of them. It's like you're taking care of them and they all happy and they fed and their siblings are getting along, the moms are getting along. It's like we ain't got to agree with the lifestyle to be like, but they seem to be good, so why are we complaining?
And I don't hear about them fighting over each other and all the rest of it. You hear about the mess and the drama. He's like, I'm not out here playing games. I'm honest with everybody. He's like, everybody knows what it is. You know, it's somebody you get to know, you vibe with, you get to the level. But he's like, we have these social standards that we try to live up to where everybody is forced to be with one person for their entire life. He was like, I respect it, but it's not everybody's story. And we're so busy shaming people for it. And I'm just like, I've heard this conversation on a couple of different fronts, but there's I got to pull these names, boy. It's a psychologist. She wrote a book. She was talking about monogamy used to mean one person for life. Now it means one person at a time. If you're with one person now, you're monogamous. She's like, that's not what that means traditionally. That's not the meaning of the word. So we've already changed it. We're just not changing it enough.
Yeah.
People we want to shame for it. So I'm over here like, I ain't mad at none of it, bro. Like, you're doing your thing. You're taking care of business. You're taking care of your family.
Yeah.
You're uplifting the community. Dude, the Dr. Sebi doc, he got onto that. I'm so hyped for that. Like, people trying to talk about him, like, you can't tell me this dude is not gangster. Like, he's not strong. Like, when the whole thing happened with Nipsey was working on the documentary. The rumor was, oh, he was killed for working on the Dr. Sebi documentary, right? That was one of the conspiracy theories. Nick was like, they can't kill us all. I'll do it. And did it. It wasn't just, Nez was like, okay, that's what we think happened. Fine, I'll finish it. Right. Put his money up. Picked up where he left off. It's coming out next year. Like, my man's is going for it. You gonna tell me that's not gangster? All right.
That's true. I mean, real talk. Like, for me, the gangster moves he was making, because I mean, a lot of that, you know, people get on him for being corny or whatever, but he's really made like those man moves. I just always go back to when Eminem came out and dissed him. Oh, sorry. Eminem came out and dissed his wife
several times.
And Nick was like,
depends on which time we're talking about. He did all of it.
Huh?
He did all of that, so it depends on which time we're talking about.
Oh yeah. But he came out and dissed his wife, and then Nick was just kind of like that dude, just like, I'm gonna lose. I still got to go to battle. Like, who's doing that?
Wait,
like he did it several times.
And he said it from the level of like, not just I'm gonna go to battle with words. He was like, whatever arena you want to put it in. He said, you want to put on the boxing gloves, we can do that. You want to have a rap battle, we can do that. He was like, I might not win any of these, but you're not gonna talk about my wife and not see these hands. You know, even if you knock me out, you're gonna see these hands at least twice, and then I'm gonna take my fade. But I'm gonna see you. I was like, I've never heard of this. Like, are you serious? Did you really just go that hard? And at M, like, nobody was. It's documentaries. You got The Game. You got all these rappers on here talking about, oh, nobody wants smoke with the white boy. Nick was like, I'll take all the smoke. What's up?
And that's the thing. It's like, again, he's going to this knowing people are going to probably say that whatever he puts out there sucks. He's going to lose the battle just because it's him. And he's still like, and I still got to do it. Like, to me, that's more gangster than like somebody that's like, yeah, I've won like all 10 battles. I'm going for 11. Like, no, the little dude that knows he's going to lose and still fights anyway. That's the shit. You're like,
he's like, I'm going to give it everything I got because my honor on the line. You ain't going to come in my grill and not see me? What?
Yeah.
Oh. And then he did it like that. There was no response. Then M came at him directly. He came back again. He was like, bro, you're not going to keep doing this. So then he was like, look, he put out what, three? Like three? Yeah. Where he crossed every line in the book. And I do this back then because I'm mad at y'all because y'all decided Eminem won without saying a word. Really? That's not how rap works. That's not how battle works. You don't get smacked. He talked about his daughter. He talked about his ex. He came in his head. He brought up the N-word stuff from back in the day. He went
as a chorus. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Bro, and then he came out and he was like, look, so M always talking about trick this, trick that. He went and got Suge. Suge called in from jail, like, yo, look, this is what we about to. You had Suge call in?
Yeah.
Really? We're talking about battle rap. He went and got all the battle rappers that he hired onto his show. That's his name. He went and got all the battle rappers that was on the show. I'm a little distracted over here, guys. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
He went and got all the battle rappers on the show, and they all hopped on a track together.
Yeah. This was
like
epic too.
And the rest of the M's team was like, hey, you can't just jump the homie like that. He not responding to me. Y'all saying I'm corny. Tell me these cats are corny. Tell me these cats don't know how to rap.
You got D12 on you that can come help out if they need to. Like, you can call your homies too. But
he got a couple of his homies said something back. M stayed silent. And that's the only reason. Not to say he couldn't have whooped him. All he had to do was say anything. But he decided he didn't want, for whatever reason, he didn't want no smoke. To me, that's an L.
That's a loss.
Sorry. Yeah. What you want.
Just like when Drake didn't respond to Pusha T. That's a loss. You didn't say nothing back.
Nicki Minaj, Remy came out her head. She was like, oh, I'm going to respond in my own timing. That's an L. You didn't say nothing back. You lost. Sorry. Remy took the crime. And Nick took the.
Yep.
He got his hits in. You didn't hit him back. That's a Mayweather fight.
Okay.
There's no knockout, but he got points in. You didn't. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Very, very true.
That's my take on things. So I'm just like, get this man his respect. Stop hating. Stop hating.
He just created something like the things that get ignored by him. Like there's other songs he put out besides G.O.A.T that have like been actual, stuff about like abuse and about other various things. Not to mention the fact that he's created all these various shows. I mean, the freaking Wildin' Out, America's Got Talent, The Masked Singer. Like those are just three of like on Wikipedia. There's like a plethora of almost every year's show. Starting Nick Cannon coming out of the Husbands of Hollywood. Like.
That's the thing. Like everybody wants to talk about, oh, I'm a boss. I'm a boss. No, this man literally signs people's checks. Like a boss. Like I create things that give jobs to people. I put people in opportunities that open other doors for them. That's a boss. Like hands down, no question. He has a label. Everybody trying to get signed. He does the signing. You can call it corny all you want to. He can sign you and put you out on the stage and put you on a tour. That's a boss. Sorry. I'm like, I gotta give credit where it's due, man.
He's on his private plane and in his mansion, like laughing at all of us, calling him corny. Like, yeah, please call me corny. It gets my money coming in every time.
They call
aren't corny.
I was talking about Diddy being a terrible rapper until he gave me the one line I will always respect. He said, don't worry if I write rhymes, I write checks. You ain't gonna have Biggie, you ain't gonna have Mace, you ain't gonna have the Locks, you ain't gonna have Black Rob. Who else we talking about? Total. Who else on Bad Boy? I went to the tour.
Carl Thomas, Machine Gun Kelly.
We had 7 hours worth of content off of just Bad Boy alone.
Yep.
I was like, and they didn't play one Biggie song because
yeah.
Rest in peace.
I always thought the ironic part is somebody probably wrote that line for him.
Did it work? How many rappers have ghostwriters though? Like,
yep.
So we don't respect all these other rappers with their ghostwriting team,
right? And we're mad at Nick Cannon for writing his actual corny rhymes, but he's actually writing it. Like, dude, come on.
Oh, he said he wrote all the music for Wildin' Out, all the beats. He was like, I produced all the beats for Wildin' Out.
Dang, really? I didn't know that.
That's a lot. All the little songs, all the games. He said, though, I produced this show. Everything you see. He was like, you talk about me musically. He had to check Charlamagne. Charlamagne was like, oh, I'm talking about your music. He said, my raps or my music? He said, I play every instrument. He said, I grew up in the church. I could play any instrument in the church. You gonna tell me that's not talent? All right.
Dang.
All right, I got you. So at this point, I just hear hate.
For no reason. People just hating just because they can't do it. They're gonna call him corny, but they can't do or duplicate even a fraction of what
you want Mariah? Is that it? You wanted Mariah and he married her? Is that why you mad? I get it.
Even that, he actually like went up to this woman and was like, we should go out, and she's like, okay. And I'll also
make Mariah was around thugs. You remember her little thug phase? She did a song with every rapper in the game.
Oh my God.
It ended up with Nick.
Of all the rappers. Yeah.
I think Jada Pinkett grew up with Tupac and married Will Smith. But Will Smith corny, right? Okay.
That's also true. That is very true. All them corny guys is getting like the hot women. So it's too funny. Too funny. Well, yes, Nick, we'll give you your flowers for this. Like I said, we respect you. I've been a fan since the Wild and Out day. I mean, since the All That days and all that stuff. So I've been a fan, and if music stuff, I bopped to it in college, and I've listened to the stuff you put out. That's been sporadic here and there.
Yeah.
We have much respect for the stuff that you do. So
this is why I keep getting distracted. She was trying to pick this.
What up?
This is Nikki. Is
that a snake?
Yes. Nikki will be on a future podcast. I'm gonna let her off the hook today because I didn't warn her. But yeah, she's gonna be on the little third screen over here.
Sweet.
But yeah, man, that's all I really had to say. Just give this man his props. Quit hating. And I'll salute, man. Nick Cannon, keep doing your thing. I didn't get into the intellectual side. Like, I listened to the podcast. I've heard some of the things he's bouncing around. Like, this man is deep. This man knows. He does his research. He's having conversations with people on another level. And I'm like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, dig in and listen. Check out him talking with Dame Dash. Who else? I'm trying to think who else he had on the show.
I did want to touch on also, just because we mentioned the thing about the baby briefly.
Yes.
I did respect the fact that because nobody's perfect in this world, and so he's definitely at times said things that got the public riled up. Even with that, though, he's always been willing to be like, hey, if I'm wrong, let me know. Let me educate myself. Let me know what I can do better. And I know on the Breakfast Club interview, he was talking about with the baby situation, how this is the time of learning and stuff like that. And real men recognize when they make mistakes, and real men recognize that they can be better educated. Like, we can't be like in our egos, like we're so perfect, we know everything. And even just on that front, the fact that he's willing to have that grace for other people and also be like, hey, like this applies to me too. Like, I'm learning and continuing to develop as a person. We should always ultimately be developing. But that's also because many people would have just been like, well, I said this thing, but I meant it. I'm gonna stand by it, and I'm not gonna change wherever this is and that. Yeah. And just not been in a good grace of anybody anymore.
Now, the other thing too with the baby's comments, like he was saying how he feels like he's very intelligent, and basically he just said some offbeat comments, but he's in a position where he can be educated. He can be an example to the rest of the community. Like, the problem with the comments wasn't just about the baby; it was about hip hop in general. Meg Thee Stallion made a comment about that, like how we got to address this in hip hop, and we got to be, better about this and that. And that's kind of where Nick was coming from. He was like, look, if you take this time and work with him, then you're going to educate a whole community of people to be more sensitive to these issues versus let's just cancel him and tear him down.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the way to handle it. And we going too far with it. He's like totally against cancel culture, as we've been discussing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, that's really how I see it. The best solution I've seen, somebody was like, the only place that could save him now is Red Table Talk. And I was like, you right. Red Table Talk with what's his name? Elton John. He said Madonna. And
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X, yeah. Like, you need to do a track with them and go on Red Table Talk.
I mean, Willow's fluid also. So I mean, just having Willow Smith be there would be
awesome. That's part of why Red Table Talk will save him. But that's like where everybody go when they mess up, and then like, so what happened?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? Do you feel better now?
Even Jada went there, and it's her show.
We sit at the table today.
Yeah.
I need to turn. I got a black table. I'm gonna get a red one for one of these episodes. When Nikki show up, we gonna have a red table.
Nice. Yeah, just like he was like in the midst of all this, he was wanting to say, hey, what the baby said was whatever, but hey, I'm still down for him. We can be educated. And he said back in the day when the Age came out, a lot of stuff that was ignorant was said. So if he ain't got the education,
it was gonna come up in the documentary. Like, he talked a lot about the Dr. Sebi documentary. He was saying that he found some old news clips where that was the perception that was put out to the public by the media. So that's where this all started. But now it's not okay anymore, and we got to change the narrative. So if you say what was said from the beginning, it's a problem. And it's just like, if we put out where it came from, maybe it'll be a little more forgiving to the people who didn't get the updates just yet, which I can understand. But
you spend your time trying to survive in the hood and not die. You might not have time to educate yourself on AIDS like that the way you need to. So again, like, it's just applying grace. But I appreciate that he made those comments and he was actually saying that stuff. Like, again, just being a stand-up dude. He's always been a stand-up dude. Even the people that would call him corny, he would defend him in a minute if it was like, oh, you facing some injustice. And he was one of the ones out there last year for all the BLM protests and stuff. Like,
he's on the front lines. Like, he was talking about that too. He was like, I'm not going to be the one with the mic. I don't need you to give the Martin Luther King speech. He's like, I'm going to be there. I'm going to support. I'm going to donate some money. I'm going to physically be in the building. But I'm gonna let somebody else shine. That's somebody else's lane. He's like, I'm more protest through art. Yeah. So he'll make a song or a show or produce someone else's thing about it. But he's like, I don't need to be the one out there giving the speeches. He was like, no, it's not my lane. I was like, everybody got their role to play, you know?
I know
Makes sense. And especially if you're willing to give up the spotlight, I applaud that.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta be the one shining in the middle of it. I'm gonna support. I'm gonna make sure it happens. You go get yours.
Plus, he's already got like 10 jobs.
Gotta be Jamaican. I'm not getting in trouble for that. It was a joke. In living color. Go back and watch it, okay?
Oh, we might. We're canceled now, jokes. Crap, my bad. My bad.
I don't know if I'm Jamaican. I'll check and see, because then it would be okay, right?
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
I've been there before. It's fine.
Black close enough?
It's like we're like Jamaican adjacent. I got family, so we're good. All right. So, but yeah, that's all you had to say about Nick.
I love y'all.
Yeah, that's all we had to say about Nick. So appreciate you guys, and we will catch you next time. Feel free to leave your comments down below. Show Nick Cannon some love. Show him that you support him and give him his flowers while he's still here, and see him if he ever watches this video perchance.
If you make hats, send us some, because Aaron need a hat too. I can't be the only one rocking.
No, I got the gun hat. It's in the car today, so I can. Yeah.
I'm just saying, we need some more hats.
Yeah.
For the record, no cap zone.
Oh my God.
Nikki was
see y'all next time.